No, I don't know.
This is a whole new thing.
That's why people do Snapchat. Now I get it.
But they don't really disappear though. But if you do so, I used to send little, I used to get them, I used to call them glitter pics. And a guy would send me, and you do like this, and you can see what's behind there, and then it goes away.
I need to figure that out because I've just been sending them willy-nilly, and then I'm like, wait a minute, my mom's on my computer now.
No, a glitter pic.
Let me take you to a place I know you wanna go. It's a good life.
I've been busy, bitch. Hello? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bouginet's Corner, aka Fruitful Fridays, and we have the fabulous Anastasia Washington. She is an artist, an actor, director, writer, producer, stand-up comedian, and child actor as well. You may have seen her in a couple of things, but let's get into it.
Okay. Let's get into it. Thank you for having me. Matchy.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. So how do you feel right now?
I feel great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you've been in this business since you were a kid.
Yes. Yes.
My biggest question is, how do you keep going?
Oh, adapt, change what you're looking for, and what content you're making. You have to constantly be humble enough to learn a new skill, I feel like.
Really?
Because when I was a kid, everybody did things for me, and then at a certain age, I was like, oh wait, it's on me? What do I do now? And so that was, learning how to create my own films, learning how to do podcasts, and taking the initiative to be humble and learn something, Yeah,
because I feel like as a child, you're set up differently, but then it's kind of an issue with people reinventing themselves. Yeah. And I think that that's something that you do so well. Every week, I'm like, this girl is doing something else.
You got to keep busy.
Yeah.
You got to keep your name out there. You got to keep doing stuff, and it's, I like being busy. I liked work. Like, people are always like, oh, you're a child actor, so you probably hated it. And I'm like, no, I asked for it. And
right.
I wanted to work, and I wanted to work so much, and I still want to work so much.
So it didn't burn you?
I mean, I'm sure there's some burns.
Burnt out.
But that wasn't the burn.
Okay.
That wasn't the burn. It's hard growing up in the industry, and I'm biracial, so they didn't quite know what to do with me.
We're gonna get into that.
I'm curvy, and that was a thing. I've been skinny. It was not as tasty. So, now I'm curvy. And so, there's things that you hear quite young. Growing up, you hear things pretty young that you should probably, most people probably didn't hear. Oh, you're not white enough, you're not black enough, you're too big, you're too small, you're too this, that's a lot to hear when you're young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we deal with the same. I fit into the category, I'm black, but then I fit into the category of being ethnically ambiguous, and your mom is other and so forth. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, my mom is black. But, I came out this way. And I feel like we have a struggle with our industry in several different shows, and I feel like it tears Black people apart instead of brings us together. And they're like, well, you guys have it easier. And I don't think we have it easier.
I think it's different. I will say it's a different thing. I feel like, being light-skinned, I always walk into a room kind of apologizing, for existing the way I do, which is not a great way to feel, right? I didn't choose to be light-skinned. It's the way the world allowed.
It chose me.
It chose me, and I'm the lightest in my family.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. I'm the lightest in my family, and I'm even a little lighter than my white mother. I don't know how this happened, right? Right? We do the DNA. The DNA doesn't line up with my skin color.
I feel like in Black families, there's always someone that's a little darker, a little lighter than anybody else, and we're just like, that's just how Black people are.
And I think that's the problem, that we don't see that in media, is that Black looks like a lot of things.
It does.
Black families have a lot of different shades, and there's a lot of dynamics within that and stuff like that. But I think the media wants to be like, this is what mixed looks like, this is what Black looks like, and there's, so many in between,
Do you think that it's our responsibility to fix that in the media, or do we depend on them? Because we've seen where that's kind of gotten us, but they're also the people cashing the checks as well and opening the doors. So how do we take our leap into, and is it our responsibility?
I do think it's my responsibility as a light-skinned biracial person to make the content that shows the variety out there, and that also acknowledges my privilege as light-skinned, but also my disadvantages as being light-skinned. And I think that is my responsibility as a filmmaker and a creator. At the same time, as like when I'm going in for an audition or something, I have no control.
Right.
You know, but I do have control when I create my own content, which is why it's so important, if you have a story to tell, to write it, to produce it, to film it, to do it. Because that is the thing you have control over. The industry will change slowly as they see the content being made, right? But it's so easy to make content. It's not easy. I'm not going to say that. It's a labor of love. But there's stuff that you can do just at home right now to make content.
Absolutely. And you are a queen of the stage. You're always doing a stand-up show.
Yes, I'm pretty busy with the stand-up.
Yes, and I know that you talk about this. You do talk about being biracial.
I do a lot.
And I think, has that been your outlet? Like, what caused you to do stand-up? I know about people. What caused you?
I mean, what caused me to do stand-up, I was doing improv for a while, and it was so it was another thing that was like out of your control. You're in a team, and I love being in a team, but teams come and go.
Ooh.
And I was like, I want to be able to be more consistent with my comedy and to create more comedy. And so stand-up, I was like, I can't do stand-up. And I took a class, you know, and I was like, oh, I can, you know. And at first, I was making a lot of jokes about my body, I will tell you.
Really?
Like, when I started out, it was all jokes about my body. Like, and then at a certain point, I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say, was that beneficial to you? Like, I don't know, because if I make fun of my body, girl, I'm probably crying.
No, and even the way I made fun of it, I was like, I would make fun of the fact that I used to be skinny and I'm curvy now. And, you know, like, it's hard to stay skinny. It's hard to stay curvy in LA because everybody's dieting. So I have to make an effort, you know? Like, I have to make an effort. It was, you know, it wasn't as self-deprecating as some of the stuff out there, but it didn't feel good.
You look good.
Thank you. So I used to do, you know, a lot of weight jokes, and then at a certain point, I had to get, like, brave about talking about the things that were really, like, on my chest, which is, like, you know, like, being biracial and in this climate and dealing with, you know, my past and stuff like that, which is what stand-up is kind of about. So, yeah, it changed, and it became more about that.
Yay. And so you said you like to work with groups, and I know you work with a lot of groups because you work with me in some groups.
Yes, I do.
And I think that is like the biggest struggle in this business, is finding the groups that you can work with that are dependable, and how do you stay consistent on doing that? Because we had a podcast, I Said What I Said.
We did.
During the pandemic, and we was saying what we had said.
We did.
We don't know what we're saying right now.
I said, what I did say
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, we're working on it.
working on it.
We'll tell y'all if it's back or not. But no, just in that light, it was. I felt like you were extremely dependable. Where does that come from? How do you find your group of people in this business?
I mean, I think it's just trial. Honestly, like I put myself out there a lot, and sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, it does not work out for me. But at least I know I'm putting myself out there. I'm trying things. I'm collaborating with different people, and that is so important in this industry because we have to have each other's backs.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We have to. I mean, the way that we rise is together, and the only way you can do that is by trying it out, and sometimes, dude, it hurts. Like,
it hurts a lot.
Yeah,
when it doesn't work out.
Oh yeah, you know, I've cried. I take a cry, like I take a cry hour. Have my playing
Daily or weekly? I'm pretty daily.
It depends on what we. I have my cry mix on Spotify, and I give myself the playlist to emote and cry, and then I'm good.
Get yourself right back up again.
I'm a good advocate for like cry in the bathroom and then come out there and just show them who you are.
See, when I cry in the bathroom, I get ideas.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a safe space for me.
Right.
Like a bathroom. Yes.
Cry in the bathtub and then get out and just blaze the world.
There you go.
That's the Scorpio in me, sorry. I'm like,
Happy
rue
belated
the day.
birthday.
Thank you. I'm 21, just kidding.
Oh, girl for life. Girl. I wanted to ask you because you are in a relationship and you guys are in the same business.
Yes, we are.
How in the hell is that?
It's actually very shocking because I always was like, I'm not going to date a comedian because I've tried it. It was interesting. But this is great. It's actually really cool to like bounce ideas off each other, be in the same festivals as each other. I do think I got a well-adjusted one that is willing to go to therapy and work on himself, which is amazing. Everybody should. Therapy is amazing, you guys.
Yes, I was going to ask you about therapy because
I love therapy, and hypnotherapy is like my new
thing.
I love my.
Didn't you do something with jeans and hypnotherapy?
Yes, I did. I used to not wear pants, which sounds like I just was going around without any.
She was asked out.
I was asked out all the time. No, I would always wear dresses and skirts and stuff like that, and I didn't know why. And I went to hypnotherapy, and like one session, she was like, "Oh, this is why you don't wear them, and let's just work on it." And it was like this traumatic thing that happened to me. I was kidnapped, and the guy said something about my legs, and literally did not remember it until they like sat me down, did the hypnotherapy, pinpointed, and I was like, "Oh, is that it? Oh, okay." And then we worked on it, and now I wear jeans more.
Really?
I do.
See, I think that's important.
I wear them more.
Not only to wear
My
jeans.
man likes me in jeans and sweats, and I don't understand it. But
he wants to see it all. The curves.
He wants to see the butt. Yeah, it's fun.
I think in relationships, in this business, I think therapy is the gateway to having something healthy. Now, you did your therapy before you met him.
Yes.
Right.
Right, and he did his as well, and I think that's important. Yeah, and we're both very like, let's just keep our mental health. And you have to, as people of color especially, this world is hard. We have to work on ourselves because they're not working on us. They're
working on part of
us.
us.
They're working on our nerve.
All right.
They're not working on helping our community. And I think the biggest thing we can do for our community is seek help. I mean, I wish that my father, who was a very angry black man and had every reason to be, had found an outlet to make that better for him and for us,
Did your mom do therapy?
Oh yeah, my mom was a big and she was always like, "Hey, Jim, you want to go to therapy?" He's like, "Nah."
My mom says I need therapy, but she won't go to therapy, so we're working on it. So now she sees
everyone needs therapy. Everyone, it's great. Why wouldn't you want to go to a session where somebody has to listen to you and your problems
and give you advice
and be on your side? That's the greatest thing ever.
She's like, well, maybe I should go to therapy now because you look like you're kind of pulling yourself together.
Which is very Southern. That's a very Southern statement. We have very Southern mothers.
She's more like, God damn it, I guess I need some damn therapy, which takes the Southern out of it, but it's the Cajun in us.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so you have a man, honey. You are doing your thing on stand-up. You are still producing, we have a short that we produced together as well. She was on the team, and we're not done with that.
No, we're not.
And just as like a woman, because I know that you're always fighting for equal rights and where do you see yourself like in this business creating? What content do you see yourself doing? What do you take on as like, this is what I want to do. This is my responsibility in this business. Moving forward, where do you see yourself? With everything that you have learned from child to now and even love and so forth, what type of content? And who do you represent? Why do you represent?
I want to be like the female Jordan Peele, right? But still acts. I'm not giving up being on camera. I want to be on camera till I die. In fact, while I'm dying, if you could put a camera on me, we'll just.
I say I'm like Betty White. I want to be 99.
Right, just roll me on set even after, if you need to.
When do you want to retire? I was like, retire? I'm never gonna retire.
I know. If people ask you, I was like, when I can't get up anymore. more, I guess.
When you can't put a mic, to me, is when I'm gonna retire.
Right. And even if you want to save my brain, we could do some kind of weird
Like
VR
Einstein.
stuff. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Let me be on camera until eternity. But I do want to produce content like Jordan Peele, which mixes social justice issues with horror and comedy, and that's my jam. I love horror.
Yeah,
and
she
comedy.
is a horror connoisseur, not like a whore, but like a horror connoisseur.
Horror.
Like horror.
Haven't gotten that horror connoisseur badge yet.
Seriously,
on it.
she will jump into anything scary possible.
I love it. I love being scared. I love true crime. I love horror. I love it all. I love it.
Ghosts, witches, and I know I'm a witch. This is a witch too.
Oh
but
yeah. And I love to talk to ghosts and do all that.
See,
stuff.
I don't.
Let's do it.
I tell them I'm not.
Let's
Hell,
go. Okay.
no. I have stories about the Ouija board,
one. No, I'm
y'all.
just kidding.
Do you really?
Imagine? No, like right now? Like, yep.
But do you own one?
Yes, I do. It's funny because the other day somebody was at my house and they were looking through my gaming closet and they're like, "Ooh, what game is this?" And they're like, "Oh no, Ouija board!" I was like, "Well, Uno's under there, and you're fine."
Black people don't mess with Ouija boards.
I know, I'm just me.
I'm like, oh girl, no, that's not
There's
a Ouija
a lot
board.
of Ouija boards in my house. And if
Girl!
if you don't eat, and there's just I have a platter that's a Ouija board, so technically it's not a Ouija board, but
Yeah, my mom had that too, and the motherfucker talked. Excuse my language, but my mom had a Ouija board, and it spoke one day, and it was the scariest shit in my entire life. I'm still scared, and
what did it say? Did it say something nice?
It said something crazy. We broke it in fours. We lit that shit on fire, and we went to the dumpster. And so I don't mess with the Ouija board and ghosts. I tell them, leave me alone, and I'm okay, and I'm the only one living.
Some of them are nice.
Some of them are nice.
Yeah.
Some of them are nice. But I tell them I'm not ready to tap into that gift yet.
Okay.
Because they pop up every now and then. I'm like, oh no, girl. I can feel the chills. So But y'all.
Not to freak you out, but there's one. I'm just kidding. There's not one behind you.
It's an energy thing. And I say that because you have a ghost podcast.
I do. It's called Haunts and Hops, and we drink beer, and we talk about the beer, and then we talk about haunting and aliens, and
Now those people are real.
and
I'm
cryp-
excited.
and cryptozoology, so Bigfoot and stuff, which is always fun.
All that stuff is real though to me.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't say it was false. We didn't say it was like a fiction podcast. We just said it was Haunts and Hops.
Haunts and hop.
Yeah.
Well, I would hop my ass right out because I am scared of all of that, but I like tigers.
I am scared of space, so I get whenever we talk about aliens, space is one of, I have some weird phobias, but space is whoop, whoop, since I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, I would when I was 5 or 6, my mom said I would look up at the sky and go, "We're hanging in nothing. Oh my God." And she'd be like, "Oh my God, it's okay. It's all right." I was like, "There's no end. There's no end."
There really is no way.
I was a very strange child.
It's okay, we all were. It's all right. I know I was. So where can the people find you? How can they find you? Where is all of your social
Target
platforms,
mainly.
everything?
Just kidding. But probably at Target. No, at Anastasia W on TikTok and Twitter, at Anastasia Wash on Instagram, and Anastasia TV if you want to hear some comedic meditations on YouTube and also on iTunes, and also comedy songs and stuff like that.
And if you have 2 areas of advice, someone that identifies very similar to you, being either biracial or light-skinned, and they want to get into this business, what would you tell them? And then just any woman or anybody, what would you tell them?
I mean, I think that's it's so cliche, and it's probably you hear it all the time, but embrace who you are sooner rather than later. Trying to conform is actually holding you back. And I also think that when you go into a room to audition or something like that, you put so much pressure on yourself and you go I gotta be perfect. There's so many elements in working for the casting that could have nothing to do with your performance. So just be the best you can be, and then don't take it personally, because there's so many elements out there.
I know.
It could be I once walked into a casting room and they looked at me and they were like, "How tall are you?" And I was 5'9", and they go, oh, and I was like, so there's literally nothing I can do right now because
Yeah,
I'm
I
too
kind
tall.
of lie about my height. I mean, like by an inch.
I mean, I may be a little bit taller than 5'9", but we don't need to go into that. You know,
Right.
there's so many elements out there that go into casting that it's not you.
Right.
Just keep going and doing your job. Your job is to audition, to show up and do the best you can.
Showing up.
Show
Yeah.
up. Just keep showing up.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here today.
having me.
I'm so excited, y'all. We have so much in store for you. We are doing like 1,001 things together, so
Yes, for sure.
catch us all over the world. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can hit her up and we'll leave all her stuff at the bottom. But bye.
Bye.
Oh, thank you, boo.
Thank you. I know you can't move.
Let me take you to a place I know you wanna go. It's a good life.
I've been busy, bitch. Hello? I'm back. I'm back, bitch. I'm back, bitch. Y'all can do whatever the fuck y'all want, but I'm back, bitch.
No, no.